Evaluate the following limits if they exist. Provide exact values, not approximations. In part A, we have a polynomial and limit x goes to -1. For this, we simply plug in x equals -1. So that's 5 times -1 cubed minus 3 times -1 squared plus 7 times -1 minus 11. Now we simply use our calculator or just do in your head. -1 cube is -1 times 5 -5, and this is a -1 squared +1 times 3 -3 -7 minus 11. So if we simplify, this becomes just -26. Okay, in part B, this is a rational function, and if we plug in x equals 3 squared 9 minus 6 minus 3, just 0 on the top and 0 on the bottom. That means we have to simplify this fraction before we can plug in x equals 3. Let's simplify the top. That means factor the top, and we try to cancel the bottom, x minus 3. So to factor is a trinomial, so it factors as a product of two binomials. So x squared means x, 3 times 1, 3. To get negative in the middle, that's negative. This is positive. Okay, then x minus 3 from top and bottom cancel. Now we plug in x equals 3 here. 3 plus 1, 4. That's the final answer. In part C, we have a fraction. If we plug in h equals 0, so 1 over 5 plus 0, 5, 1 over 5 minus 1 over 5, 0 on the top, and h is 0. Okay, that means we need to simplify and cross out h before we plug in h equals 0. So on the top, we have, let me do over here, just the top part. So we have 1 over 5 plus h minus 1 over 5. We need to combine these two fractions. For we multiply first fraction by the bottom of the second, so 5 over 5, and do the same for second fraction. So 5 plus h over 5 plus h. Okay, then we have now the common denominator 5 times 5 plus h. So we just write once, 5 times quantity 5 plus h, 5 times 1, 5, minus 1 times two terms. So this is -1. So we need to distribute -1. -1 times 5, -5, -1 times h, -h, and 5 minus 5 cancel. Just the top is now, then come back here. This is limit of h going to 0. On the bottom I have h. I combined these two fractions and got -h over this. So -h over 5 times 5 plus h. Now we have a complex fraction, and we simplify that. Keep, change, flip. Okay, keep, change, flip. H is h over 1, by the way. So keep means keep the top fraction. H over 5 plus h. Change this division into multiplication and flip. This is 1 over h. And you can see now this h on the top, h on the bottom cancel. Okay, that was the zero making factor. Now we are good. Just plug in h equals 0. So there is nothing to plug in. So -1 on the top, -1 on the top. On the bottom, we got 0, 5 plus 0, 5. 5 times 5, 25. So -1 over 25. And part D, if we plug in h equals 0, 9 plus 0, that's 9. Square root of 9 is 3 minus 3, so we get 0 on the top and 0 on the bottom. That means we need to simplify this fraction and get rid of h so that we can plug in h equals 0. So as we learn in class, whenever we have a square root, we need to multiply by its conjugate. So in this case, we multiply by 9 plus 8, just we change the middle sign, this negative to positive, 3. And same thing on the bottom, 9 plus 8 plus 3. And next, we have to keep writing this limit until we use it. So there is no issue on the bottom, so we just write, do not multiply. H times quantity 9 plus h plus 3. On the top, this is like u minus v, and we multiply by its conjugate, that's u plus v. And as we saw a couple of times, if we FOIL, the middle two terms cancel, then we get u squared minus v squared, as if we just multiply the first term and the last terms. Okay, or if you go backward, this way is the formula, difference of two squares. Okay, so if we multiply, the middle two terms cancel, so we just multiply the first terms and last terms. Square root of 9 plus 8 times square root of 9 plus 8, just 9 plus 8. It's like if you multiply square root of y times square root of y, that's the square root of y is squared, so we just get y. So we just get 9 plus 8 minus 3 times 3, 9. Then this 9 minus 9 cancel. Now from top and bottom, just h left. Now we can cancel. Okay, we could not cancel earlier, but 9 and negative 9 is gone. So only h left. Now h from top and bottom cancel. That means 1 on the top. Let's plug in h equals 0. 1 on the top. Over h is 0. 9 plus 0, 9. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 plus 3, 6. So 1 over 6. That's the final answer.